Do calisthenics make you a better wrestler? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be going over different calisthenics things you guys can do, some challenges, and then of course going over, does it really even matter? Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm really excited to get into this video. Of course, the last video was a great success, so thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to do that video with other wrestlers as well, and of course, Spencer going down in history books as the GOAT. I'm just so honored to have the opportunity to create something like that. And also, if any other wrestler wants to be on the channel and kind of in that video format, just let me know, hit up my DMs or just comment, whatever. But before we begin, I do want to say that I am no longer with Transparent Labs. I know I have promoted their protein powder and their pre-workout before. Personally, I decided to split ways just because I don't think that I was getting monetarily compensated for what I'm doing. But you guys already know the deal. Liquid IV is here to stay. If you use my code Cayden Henschel, you get 25% off. Oh my goodness. So what is calisthenic workouts? If I would describe it in my own words, it's kind of using your body weight as a way to work out instead of, using the weights, doing the bench press. So for instance, push-ups, that's using your own body weight, just like air squats, that's your own body weight. But along with that is handstands. And you guys seen in the Spencer Lee video, we both can walk on our hands pretty well. So for me, I learned how to walk my hands when I was 8 years old. I saw a video of like the world's strongest 4-year-old and I'm like, okay, if this 4-year-old is walking on his hands, why can't I? And the best way to get better at that is of course, repetition. Spencer also said that he'd be trying to, handstand for hours. You kind of just have to be obsessed about, getting back up, you're gonna come back down and you're gonna get better time and time again. You just have to put in that consistent, focused work. Now the handstand is the first challenge and I'm gonna kind of give you guys some tips. So first, starting off, you're of course gonna wanna do it against the wall just to make sure that your shoulders and your weight and your wrists can withstand your weight. So just be standing away from a wall, you kick up, boom, just like that. For here, you can maybe do, 5 sets of 30 seconds, try to stay up there. If you have to do less, you have to do less. Of course, everyone's gonna be different. Even before you can do this, you make sure you warm up your wrists. Do something to kind of have that pressure, because if you're first starting off, your wrists and your bones might be a little sore, but also you could always just man up. Now, after you've gone up quite a bit, what you can do is you can then go into handstand push-ups assisted by the wall. So just like this, you kick up, I'm gonna put my hands out a little bit so there's a spot I can put my head, and now I'm going down and up. Just like this. You can do how many as ever you want. If you want to start off by just doing like 3, if you can even get 3. If you can't go down all the way, that's perfectly fine. Do what you're capable of, and over time, you're gonna get better. Now for me, I've been doing this for years. So now, personally, of course, I don't need a wall to handstand, and now I'm actually getting a lot better at doing the handstand push-ups. So you guys saw in the Spencer Lee video, when he was doing it, he was kind of moving his hands all over the place. To stay in the same spot, it's definitely tough. It's way harder. But like he said, a lot of it is technique, and you're gonna get that over time with repetition. So as I kick up in here to the handstand, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna use my fingers kind of as like a little springboard. If my feet are going too far back, I push more into my fingers. If my feet are going too far down, I kind of can bring my butt up and do some different things with my hips. But as I go into this push-up, putting my head all the way down. Oh, let's see there. It's hard, I can't do that first try. Man, I was actually doing a bunch of these before I came at the gym. But that's gonna be the hardest thing you guys can do with handstand, is holding still and getting that handstand push-up. Now you may have seen a kind of a handstand, kind of planche reaction if I do fall, because a lot of times I wanna catch myself and I don't wanna just, restart all over again. So let's say you try to get up and down and you keep failing. Maybe you go up here. What you can do if you start falling, you can correct oh shit. You go up and then you wanna go down, you can correct yourself. And I kind of move my hands in, kind of to a planche position, kind of be in like a frog position. And as you can see, only my hands are on the ground. And from here, this is just like a super, it's a lot easier than just a full-on planche. If you guys don't know what a full-on planche is, it's right here. Insanely hard. But kind of being in this kind of quarter planche position, just keeping your palms touching the ground. It's a good way, of course, just kind of to build that shoulder muscle, kind of just engage it in that sense. It'll also help if you go down and then you recorrect, you can actually push yourself back up into a handstand. So now the next technique we are going into is a lever. You can do a front lever or a back lever, as here I will demonstrate both. So the front lever, you're just in a basic pull-up position, just like this, but what you're gonna do, your arms are gonna be completely straight and you're gonna try to have a flat body. You're gonna use your core, kind of your back muscles to make sure your legs stay up and horizontal with the ground. Oh, man. So that's the front lever. It's super hard to hold, especially if you do it for like an extended period of time. I can clearly, you can see I can get up there for 5 seconds. And now the one variation harder than the front lever is when you're in a front lever and you actually pull yourself up kind of in a reverse push-up situation. And as you can see, my body just starts to fold. Insane core strength there. But over time, with repetition, we can get there. So now we're gonna be going into the back lever. So now, what is the back lever? Well, it's the opposite of the front one. You do it with your hands, like that. This one is actually, I think it's a lot harder, but for me personally, in my build, I'm, I guess, better at it. But when I was first starting off to do this in my high school days, I would get super lightheaded. So definitely, if this is your first time trying it, don't overdo it. Oh man, yep. That's the back lever. So as you can see, as we dive right back into it, I kind of put my whole body through my hands, through my grip there. Now this does put a lot of torque on your shoulders, so if you guys have bad shoulders, definitely don't try this, but I'm feeling this in my abs and my lower back. I'm just kind of contracting everything to make sure I stay horizontal, as flat as I can be. But think about it, just go into a park, you see a bar, boom, you bust out a lever. If you're like trying to impress a girl or dude, just busting out the lever, it's pretty freaking sick. But Cayden, does this help with wrestling? Well, before we get into that, we're not done with this. The next exercise we will be doing is called the human flag. Now, I was obsessed kind of with this hold and this exercise from when I was a little kid, because like I said, that world's strongest 4-year-old, he held like the record for most human flag, like push-ups in like 30 seconds. It's unbelievable. I still can't do one, but holding the human flag is where we are at. So it doesn't look like they actually have the poles and bars that I'm looking for. But no matter, we're gonna try to make this work. I'm gonna pull up a picture here about what a human flag looks like. Now, I do have a video. I'll also show it here. This is me kind of after we had dinner, and this was kind of the best human flag experience I ever had. I have no idea how I did it that well, but kind of like that stop sign type pole, that circular, perfect grip for my hand specifically. We're gonna have to use these like rectangular prism things. And again, a lot of these calisthenics, it's all in your core. And of course, that does link with wrestling, as it's, you know, a whole body exercise. So we're gonna try out the human flag. With that being said, let's see if we can do it. Oh boy, it's so hard on those. I'm not gonna be trying that again though. But I do think of all 4 exercises we kind of went over there, the human flag is the coolest. And personally, for time elapsed, I do think that it is the most challenging calisthenic workout. But now to the question that we have been asking ourselves since the beginning of the video. Does calisthenics help or assist your wrestling? Well, another question I'm gonna ask you, does being better at calisthenics equal a better wrestler? And for that particular question, I disagree. I don't think correlation equals causation. You know, there can be a statistic about, let's say if you can do 50 push-ups, that you're less likely to have a heart attack. And now, of course, yeah, I do think that's true, but I don't think the correlation equals a causation, because usually if you can do 50 pull-ups, you're in good shape, your endurance is well. And of course, as we know, being obese and kind of having bad exercise habits and eating habits make you more susceptible to having a heart attack or other conditions. Just like calisthenics and wrestling, just because maybe you're a super good wrestler doesn't mean you're the greatest at calisthenics, or vice versa. This is gonna sound off topic, but it's not. A lot of people ask me what is kind of the best way to stay in shape and have longer endurance in wrestling. Well, I think the answer and the cure is more longer live wrestling goes, of course, with consistency. I wouldn't say running. That is, I think, a common misconception. One thing that my dad said in high school was we didn't really do a lot of, you know, extra conditioning like running, doing mile runs. Because if you look at a cross-country team doesn't wrestle to stay in shape, they run. Just like a wrestling team, why would we run to get in shape when we can wrestle? Of course, I do think there's a gray area. Wrestlers, you know, can be running. I'm sure that does assist you, but now correlating that with calisthenics and wrestling, you can be the greatest at calisthenics and not be a good wrestler. I do think that calisthenics can definitely assist you in wrestling. So for me, in my background, I don't talk about this a lot, but I believe from about 2nd grade all the way to 5th grade, I was in gymnastics. Let's just say I was the YMCA state champion on the floor. But over that time, I learned how to backflip, back handspring, walk on my hands, do all these different things, and of course that is kind of linked under calisthenics. But now over that time from 2nd grade to 5th grade, I definitely saw a lot more first place finishes at my, you know, youth tournaments, and I did feel like I knew how to control my body better. And of course, when you're wrestling someone, it's all about how do you control your own body to control another person's body to get them in a position where you score points. So personally, that is my take on calisthenics and wrestling and how they can be related. I strongly encourage you guys to kind of get more into calisthenics. Do some handstands, guys. Strengthen your hands, strengthen your wrist. Get your core going with the levers and the human flag. My Instagram DMs are always open. Guys, send me videos, send me pics if you guys doing these things. You can follow my Instagram right here. Also, suplex the like button. Let's get it to 69 likes. And of course, we got a shout out to the patrons for supporting on the Patreon. We'll see you guys in the next video.